Good afternoon from AlphaCars. My name is Tom, coming to you from our Northampton location, and today we're going to be taking a look at this 2020 Mercedes-Benz GLS 580. This GLS is currently showing just over 66,000 original miles, and if you would like to see a high-resolution detailed photo set, please reference the listing at alphacars.com. There, of course, you will also find a free included Carfax report, alongside a long list of technical data related to the vehicle's remaining tire and brake life, as well as individual readings from each panel using our paint depth gauge. But today I'll take you on a quick condition overview around both the interior and the exterior, as well as showing you some of the more notable features. Starting here on the exterior, we'll find it finished in a beautiful white paint scheme. Not a whole lot of metallic there, just a little bit to highlight some of those body lines. As you can see in the direct light there, it gives it a really nice depth. As we make our way down the side of the driver's side of the vehicle, we're looking for any dings, dents, scratches, or irregularities in the way that light reflects off the panel. But as you can see all the way to the back, this vehicle is in stunning condition all the way down the driver's side. Now, hiding underneath these really nicely sculpted fender flares, we have these stunning 23-inch two-tone wheels. They're finished in a satin black and a machined outer face. And you can see free of any imperfection around the exterior of the wheel, except for right around 3 o'clock, a couple of small nicks. We have 325 wide section rear tires here. You can see those Pirelli P0s in wonderful condition. In the rear, they are brand new, just recently installed. And here in the front, they're not brand new, but they have tons of life remaining. As you can see, very nice condition all the way around. Next up, we'll make our way to the front fascia, where we find a nice blend of that bright white with some piano black and chrome accents all around. Looking at these headlights, some really cool design, and the headlight lenses are in crystal clear, gorgeous condition. Front grille, again, that same nice two-tone color scheme, and the big Mercedes emblem in the middle there acts as your radar sensor, as well as various other safety functions. And the front bumper cover is free of any rock chips or scuffs or anything of that nature. Now here on the passenger side, again looking at another wheel in great condition. And making our way down the side, in that direct sunlight, we get a little bit more of that beautiful metallic highlighted by the sun. And again, wonderful condition here on the passenger side, and another wheel in perfect shape with another brand new tire. One more thing I'd like to mention up here at the front. You'll see the leading edges of the fenders, as well as the entire front of the hood and the remainder of the front end, is all wrapped in a nice paint protection film, which is a great thing to keep your paint in that pristine condition. We also have the edges of the doors wrapped just to protect from anything bumping into them when they get opened up in a parking lot, etc. And now we're here at the rear. You'll find a cool accent spoiler just above the tailgate, or the hatch rather. You can see the taillight lenses crystal clear, blending beautifully with that chrome trim that wraps all the way around the side. Your chrome badging shines beautifully, and this rear bumper looks great as well. Those nice dual exhausts flanking that nice piano black diffuser. So next up, we'll make our way to the interior. You'll find it beautifully accented with this nice tan leather all the way throughout the interior. Look at the driver's seat. It's in excellent condition. And the passenger seat is just the same, even nicer over there. And with that, we'll make our way inside. Nice solid heavy door close. See, your gauge cluster starts up with that cool animation of the GLS. Using the start button down here with the key in my pocket. The V8 roars to life under the hood. Just a nice subtle vibration through the car where you can really feel how eager that engine is. Looking at the gauge cluster, fully digital display. If you see any flickering, that's only due to the camera. That's not an actual thing present to the human eye. A couple things I like in this gauge cluster. You can navigate over using the steering wheel controls to different designs, and you can engage your sport mode gauge cluster, which gives it that classic AMG black, yellow, and red theme. If that's not quite your thing, we can also go back to this menu to the progressive, which gives you these kind of red, sort of chrome gauges, which look very interesting and futuristic. And then lastly, we can head back over there to the understated display, which gives you these very subtle gauges and an analog clock on the right, if that is your preference. But we'll go back to the classic display because I think that suits this interior the best. And there's more you can do with that, but we'll come back to that in a moment. First off, looking at your steering wheel, these controls on the left look wonderful. Same goes for the right. Gear selector paddles behind. You have your traditional Mercedes column shifter there, as well as your wiper stock. Your headlight controls all here. You can see that ambient lighting shining bright just above. That carries all the way across the entire interior. Here on the door, we have your seat controls, heated and ventilated, as well as a button on the end there, which will allow me to, with one touch, control the seat on the right using my seat controls, which is a wonderful feature. You can also see all of your window switches and everything else down here on the side. Looking here at your center console display, zoom in a little bit for you. Of course, it's all navigated via this touchpad here. I can engage navigation, showing you that nice full color map display. Also, throwing it in reverse gives me a nice top-down 360 camera as well as a reverse camera. And if you're in reverse and engage forward or drive, you also have a forward camera, which allows you to see anything if you're approaching, say, a high curb or anything of that sort. You also can cycle through various different cameras on the right, which is a really nice thing for peace of mind when parking. So next up, a little bit further down, you have these 4 air vents, which look very nice. There's also some subtle vents here, on the side. Another passenger door card looks great. Just ahead of me, I have a very detailed heads-up display. As you can see, it's showing everything on the left, from vehicle tilt and approach angles and things of that nature, to my compass, to my speedo, to my radio, and that can all be customized to your liking and your preferences. Just above my head, I have this nice sunroof panel, which I can slide away. The entire panel does open up nice and smooth and closes just the same. One touch operation using that switch just there. It's nice to see that. And now we'll move on to the center console quickly. Here we have your climate controls all in one nice row just there. Underneath this cover, it can be slid away to reveal a wireless charging pad, as well as media inputs, as well as charging. And utilizing these switches, I can turn this little pocket here into cup holders, nice and easy, and then stow that cover back in place. Now just here is my infotainment controller pad. This is just a nice pad for your hand. There's no functionality to it. It's just a nice thing to have. You have your drive mode selection just here, where I can select Sport, Comfort, Eco, and the customizable individual mode. We have various other vehicle functions, some media controls over here, as well as a vehicle ride height adjustment just there, which with one touch can raise or lower the vehicle very easily. I forgot to mention here on the side that we also have a heated steering wheel controller, as well as a power steering column. And the last thing I'll touch on here in the infotainment is the themes section, which is actually my first time figuring this out. If you scroll down from the home screen, there's all these different themes. So you have adventure, trip, experience, etc., etc. So currently we're in the standard mode, but if I were to put it into, let's say, experience, it's a sporty theme. So if I put that in experience mode, it does change the gauge cluster to that sporty mode, and it brings you to your performance display, where you can see multiple different aspects of your vehicle's performance all in one nice little hub, which is very cool to see. You can see that suspension information, your consumption, various functions, very cool. And we can go back down here. If I select something like your trip, like you're going to be on a nice long road trip, auto boots the navigation, gives you a navigation hub here in your gauge cluster. It's very customizable, and it's cool that Mercedes loaded it with some of these presets. Adventure is your off-roading mode. It's going to boot these cameras, which of course you can cycle through as you wish. And it's going to show you all of your vehicle info, like your roll and yaw, etc., as well as your power distribution through the 4Matic all-wheel drive system. But for now, let's go put it back in the original mode. You could spend all day doing this, as well as making your own custom theme. But anyway, next up, let's make our way under the hood and take a look at what powers the Mercedes GLS 580. I'll meet you there. All right, so now we're here under the hood of the GLS 580, taking a look at this extremely clean engine bay. Looking around the outer perimeter here, you'll find it all in very nice condition. All the way around, your reservoirs are nice and clean. You see this little composite panel here at the front, in great shape as well. And the engine cover looks very nice just the same. If you look just in those little windows, you will see 2 turbochargers, and that gives you a small hint as to the performance of this engine. It's a 4-liter bi-turbo V8. It's a hot V arrangement, which means the turbos sit directly between the cylinder banks there and there. The turbos are dead center. Mercedes has been doing that in their performance division for some time now because it really greatly reduces turbo lag, as well as keeps all of the heat on the hot area of the engine and keeps the colder side of the engine nice and cool. It's really efficient. As you know, Mercedes and their engineers are really second to none. This engine's producing around 483 horsepower and 516 monstrous pound-feet of torque, and it can rocket this vehicle to 60 in less than 6 seconds, despite being a rather large 3-row SUV. It's a really cool performance situation, especially when you're not in an AMG. You still get some level of AMG performance. So taking a look here at the second row, see, very nicely appointed here. All the materials look great. Climbing inside, being about 6'4", sitting behind where I would very comfortably drive. I have tons of leg room, no issues there. Climate controls with a full hub here to control everything about my situation in the back, as well as a nice drop down bit of storage and power outlets. It's all very nice, and you get a wonderful view of the front area just ahead. I also do have heated seats for both occupants here in the back. As you can see, seats in wonderful condition back here. And with one touch of this switch on the shoulder, it will move these seats ahead for me, which allows me access to the third row of seating. As you can see, the third row of seats are nice. You can see they've been folded down for a little bit, just some wrinkles in the leather there, but nothing condition-wise that is concerning. Very nice open area here now to climb on inside, even being rather tall. You can stand right up, climb in. I won't go so far as to put the seat back because, as you can see, it would be a little tight for me. Obviously, those second row seats are powered, as we can see there. So I could scoot the seats ahead and compromise, have a little bit less room in the second row, but have enough room to fit another full-size adult here in the back. So it is very convenient. We also have your power outlets, as well as a way for your occupants back here to leave the vehicle and move the seat into this position. But very spacious, and actually relatively easy for me to climb out of. Now I'm just going to drop back this seat, pressing and holding this switch down. Not sure I need to press and hold it, but just doing that either way. And then from there I can just adjust it back into place as needed using my door controls. As you can see, it finds its home nicely just there. So lastly, let's take a look here at the cargo area. With one touch, if you actually touch it, with one touch it opens up the hatch here. We have all of your original mats from the third row to the front to the middle just there. They're all in wonderful condition, have that nice AMG branding there. So we'd like to drop down the third row of seats to load in as much cargo as possible, and that is all done, over here on the right. So with one touch, I will drop down this right seat. Takes a small delay, but it will happen. And then with another touch, I will drop down my left seat. Again, one moment to let it do its thing. And now we've greatly expanded the cargo capacity here in the back, but if we want to do even more so, I can just move all of those seats down at once. You see all of the power seats kicking into gear just there. And now we have a truly massive amount of space here at the back of the GLS. You can see huge cargo capacity here in the back, and I hardly had to lift a finger to go all the way from a 3-row SUV to essentially a truck with a bed cover. Now I'm also going to pick those second row seats up again. Oh, pardon me, that switch drops every seat. I was actually unaware of that. That's great to see. So if you'd like to go without doing every single seat, you can just use that one switch to get all of the seats. As you can see, it all looks great here in the back. Now with one more touch operation here, I will drop this down and it will nice softly latch into place. So if you have any further questions about this gorgeous Mercedes GLS 580, please reference the listing at alphacars.com, and there you'll find all of the relevant contact information. Thank you so much for your time and have a wonderful rest of your day. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you from AlphaCars.